residents in communities that are largely Latino for political power and for political advocacy. And I think that that's something that we need to prioritize as a community. And I really urge you as individuals who have been engaged in this process, you're here at Hope's Latina History Day. Many of you are involved with the leadership training. It's pivotal and it's critical for us to go back in real concrete ways and give back. And not only for money, because, you know, it's not a secret that I worked for free on this. And I did it because I knew that our residents couldn't pay me. I knew that. And I also knew that I had talents and skills that I could share with them that they in turn could push for political power. And it's been a very beautiful experience. I can't tell you how proud I feel of sitting next to Nora, knowing where we've been through together in this process and seeing that she is a leader. And here in front of you, other community leaders. It's a beautiful feeling. And I hope that as people who've been as blessed as I've been blessed, that you also take time to mentor. Because when we talk about the vacuum of leadership, the vacuum of leadership exists because we don't have mentors. And we don't care enough to give back and say, well, let me check out where the bench is. And who's on the bench? And if there's only guys on the bench, we need to take it upon ourselves to start identifying leaders to make sure that more women and more Latinas are on the bench. I mean that literally and figuratively, right? So I encourage all of you to get engaged. I'm happy to share our experiences. More than anything, I just really want to leave you with this thought. Because you've been so blessed, and I know that I've been blessed, we have a responsibility to our communities, because you know that only 2% of all Latinos in these United States are college educated. You know this. So we're part of a very elite group. And with that privilege comes responsibility. And I implore you and I ask of you, don't let this happen in your community. Give back, help mentor other people. And we've learned a lot. And we have a lot to share, but the biggest lesson that I feel like I've taken away is the power of mentoring and of building leaders. And as a good organizer, organizing yourself out of a job, because now I don't have to be an organizer. Nora is an organizer. Nora is supported by other organizers, as young as Valerie, Nora's daughter, to as old as La Señora Bella, who's almost 80 years old. I mean, these are organizers in that community. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much.
First of all, I think you heard from 3 groundbreakers, you know, in their own ways. Definitely Supervisor Molina, Nora saying she had never done this, and all of a sudden she's at the heart of a very difficult and courageous political organizing campaign, and Alma as the first to go to college, and then what that has propelled her to do. So I think one thing that stands out for me is how do we continue to encourage groundbreaking leaders and support the ability of people to be groundbreakers. I think we believe that the numbers of Chicanos, Latinos, and now Latinas, that's done, that we don't have to break ground like we used to in the 70s or late 60s. I'm not sure that's the case. I think that we continue to have new challenges, new situations that somebody always has to break ground on, and we continue to not have necessarily, as an entire community, all the capacity we need in order to make that happen. So that's one thing I would say. I think another theme, and I really share this because I think I identify with this, is persistence. Some things take a very long time to get done. And I think that one of the things I know I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it also, Supervisor, and maybe you as well, is that people come in and they want to engage politically and bring about change, and then they after hitting their head against the wall, they give up. They just, you know, it's not a negative judgment on them. It's just, it happens a lot. And so when you see somebody like Supervisor Molina or Alma working for free on something because she believes in it, you have to have, we have to build the notion of persistence into our understanding of what it means to train people and leaders and community organizers or political engagement. We have to teach that, that value because we do lose a lot of people. I mean, we've all seen it. And the other theme I heard from everybody was courage. And again, I think that that's not, that some people are born with courage, you know, but sometimes people need a community to support them in order to have courage. Some people are the groundbreakers and they just have the courage because they've got it, you know. And some people have it, but you need to build structures around them to support the courage because it's very hard. I mean, I see these stories, and when I was reading all the Bell stuff, I thought, oh my God, how are people gonna face a corrupt police force, people that are, I'm sorry, sounded very shady and dangerous to me. And that happens at all levels of this stuff. When you really get at the core of something that shakes up special interests, you're going to have not just persistence, but courage. And we need to help people maintain the courage that they might already have instinctually. The other thing I heard is that it's very important in all these situations to always be looking to the future, and it's kind of the persistence that I think everybody spoke to the fact that the election in Bell, or if you're in another situation where you take care of an immediate problem, you're usually still going to have an ongoing problem because you haven't yet built the culture of civic engagement in that community. It's based on a reaction to something. But we have to build the long-term leadership in order to be able to tackle the entirety of the problem and not just deal with the immediate scandal or crisis. And that's a value that we have to incorporate into our leadership training. So I think those are, I don't know if they're action items. I think they are, in the sense that I think those, as we talk, as this conference and other conferences, and HOPE in particular, has leadership development, that these are qualities that should be incorporated, I think, into the leadership development curriculum. And you should speak to these three folks so we can figure out how to build that into the curriculum in a tangible, practical way. So with that, we have 10 minutes for questions.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Marisa Valdez-Yeager. I'm actually a HOPE board member, and I just want to thank you, everyone, for your courage on the panel and then also the audience. I'm a 2002 HLI alum as well, and Alma, I'm proud to say, was one of my fellow colleagues there. First and foremost, Alma, thank you for your great example of the continuance of why we do what we do every day here at HOPE, here part of HLI, and all of our community. It is, and Nora, I hope to one day see your name running for office because you've brought a passion. And I want to share with everyone, while you may go through campaign training, and one of my first questions when people ask me for their support is, have you invested the time to actually go through the training so you know the rules? It's so important to know the rules, but also after the rules, it's so important to lead. And I want to thank the supervisor, first and foremost. She's gone through a lot. She's learned a lot, and I think she is still a great example